Okay, last one, power of a power. And we're going to be doing a power of a power, but I'm also going to throw in that product and that quotient rule with it. Remember, when you take a power and raise it to a power, of means to multiply. So you're going to multiply this exponent by this one. So n to the 2 raised to the 4th power is going to be n to the 8th, because 2 times 4 is 8. If you have a product inside those parentheses, everything in there has to be raised to the 4th power. That means this is technically what I'm doing, negative 2 to the 4th power and b to the 4th power. Now, here's my caution to you. If this number is negative and you have to raise it to a power, if you want to use your calculator on this part, you can, but you have to put that negative number in parentheses before you raise it to a power. So you use this little button here to get your exponent, and I'm going to raise that to the 4th power, and that gives me 16. So I have a positive 16 b to the 4th. But my caution to you here is, if you are raising a negative number to a power, make sure you apply that power to that negative also. You probably remember the rule. If you raise a negative number to an even power, it's positive. If you raise a negative number to an odd power, it's negative. Alright, number 3. I've got m to the 4th, n to the 4th, all of that being raised to the 3rd power. So everything in there has to receive that 3rd power. So that's going to be m to the 12, n to the 12, over 2n squared, and then simplify what you can. So I'm dividing like bases, so I'm going to subtract, and that gives me m to the 12, n to the 10, because 12 minus 2 is 10, over 2. On number 4, negative 3ab to the 4th raised to the 4th power. So everything in there has to be raised to the 4th power. So I have negative 3 to the 4th power, a to the 4th power, and b to the 4 times 4 gives me 16. So I need to raise that negative 3 to the 4th power. That's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which is 81, a to the 4th, b to the 16. On number 5, negative 3uv squared raised to the 3rd power. Here's that whole negative number being raised to an odd power thing. Negative 3 to the 3rd power, u to the 3rd power, and v to the 6th power, because everything in there has to be raised to that power. So if I do negative 3 cubed, that's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, I'm going to get a negative 27 u cubed v to the 6. Okay, and then number 6, negative x squared over negative 2y cubed, all of that's raised to the 4th power. So I get a negative x raised to the 8th power, negative 2 raised to the 4th power, and y cubed raised to the 4th power. This one's easy. I'm just going to multiply 3 times 4. The reason I put this in parentheses is it goes back to that whole negative x squared is being raised to the 4th power. So negative x is being raised to the 8th power now. When you raise a negative number to an even power, you get a positive answer. And then when I raise a negative number to an even power, 2 to the 4th, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 gives me 16. Sorry, I should have said negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. That's going to give me a positive 16, y to the 12. And so I've got x's on the top, y's on the bottom, nothing left to simplify. Number 7, negative out front. xy to the fourth. That means everything in those parentheses has to be raised to the fourth power. And then you're going to simplify what you can. So I've got x to the first over x to the fourth. When you divide like bases, you subtract. So that gives me x cubed y to the fourth. And remember that x has an understood coefficient of 1. So it's negative 1 over x cubed y to the fourth. Last one, number 8. Now I'm going to tell you, if you can do some simplifying first and you want to do that, like on this one you can, then do that. Because what's 2 over 2? And the crowd said 1. And so I've got a over a to the fourth, which gives me a to the third. So I've got 1 over a to the third being raised to the second power. Now it doesn't look quite as cumbersome, not quite as much work to do if I do 1 squared, because everything in there has to get that exponent. 1 squared is 1. A to the third squared, 3 times 2 is 6, and that's my answer.